Gojo Satoru is one of the most powerful and well-known characters in the anime and manga series, Jujutsu Kaisen by Gege Akutami. Known for his striking white hair, blindfolded eyes, and overwhelming strength, Gojo is a special-grade jujutsu sorcerer and a teacher at Tokyo Jujutsu High. Behind his playful personality lies a serious mission: to reform the corrupt jujutsu society and protect the next generation of sorcerers. He is not only a powerful fighter, but also a complex, tragic, and deeply emotional character. Gojo Satoru was born into the prestigious Gojo clan, one of the 3 major clans in the jujutsu world. He was the first in hundreds of years to inherit both the limitless curse technique and the 6 eyes, making him a once-in-a-lifetime prodigy. From the moment of his birth, Gojo was seen as a threat, a miracle, and a symbol of unmatched power. Because of his strength, he often felt isolated from others. Few people could understand him or relate to the immense responsibility he carried. Despite this, Gojo trained hard and became a student at Tokyo Jujutsu High, where he began to shape his ideals and sense of justice. One of the most emotional parts of Gojo's story is his friendship with Suguru Geto, a fellow student, and once his closest companion. The two shared dreams of protecting people and defeating curses. However, their ideals began to change after a failed mission involving Riko Amanai, a girl meant to merge with the immortal being Master Tengen. During that mission, Gojo was nearly killed by Toji Fushiguro, a powerful assassin with no cursed energy. This moment forced Gojo to awaken his reverse curse technique and become even stronger. However, the trauma of the mission had a lasting effect, especially on Geto. Over time, Geto began to hate non-sorcerers and believed the only way to bring peace was to eliminate them. This caused a rift between the friends. Gojo chose to stay loyal to his beliefs, while Geto turned into a villain. When Gojo was eventually forced to kill Geto, it broke his heart. Despite everything, Gojo never stopped caring about Riko. At first glance, Gojo Satoru appears carefree, confident, and even childish. He jokes around, teases his students, and often shows off. But beneath that playful surface is a serious and intelligent man who carries a deep emotional burden. Gojo sees the flaws in the jujutsu, society, especially how corrupt elders use others for their gain. He believes that the only way to change this broken system is to raise strong, independent students who can bring about a better future. He dedicates his life to teaching and protecting these students, even if it means going against the powerful clans and officials. Gojo Satoru is considered the strongest jujutsu sorcerer alive. His power comes from 2 main abilities: the limitless technique and the 6 eyes. The 6 eyes give Gojo perfect control and understanding of cursed energy. He can see cursed energy in extreme detail, allowing him to analyze and counter nearly any attack. It also helps him use his cursed energy so efficiently that he never runs out of it during battle. This inherited technique allows Gojo to manipulate space. Its main abilities include Infinity. This ability creates an infinite space between Gojo and his enemies, making it impossible for them to touch him. Attacks slow down infinitely as they approach him. Blue, this version of the limitless technique creates a vacuum that pulls objects together, causing destruction. Red, the opposite of blue, red repels objects with immense force. Hollow Purple, a devastating attack that combines blue and red to erase anything in its path. Gojo's domain expansion traps his enemy in a space where they receive an infinite flow of information, causing them to freeze. It's nearly impossible to survive unless you have an extremely high level of resistance or power. Gojo can heal his own injuries using reverse cursed energy, a skill only a few possess. This ability makes him nearly unkillable in battle. Gojo's decision to become a teacher at Tokyo Jujutsu High was part of his long-term plan to change the jujutsu world. He realized that true change would only come through the next generation. So he focused on training powerful students like Yuji Itadori, Megumi Fushiguro, and Nobara Kugisaki. He sees his students not just as fighters, but as people with the potential to make the world better. He protects them from the higher-ups, encourages them to grow stronger, and challenges them to think for themselves. His teaching style is both strict and supportive, and he forms close bonds with those under his care. While Gojo Satoru's strength is often the focus of his character, it is the internal struggle, emotional complexity, and moral ideology that truly define him. Power in Gojo's world is not a blessing, it is a burden. To better understand his importance in Jujutsu Kaisen, we must dive deeper into what makes Gojo not just a powerful sorcerer, but a compelling human being. From a young age, Gojo was known as the strongest. This title wasn't just praise, it was a social sentence. People feared him, respected him, envied him, and expected the impossible from him. But few actually knew him. This kind of power often isolates people. Gojo mentions that no one else can truly relate to what he feels. He sees the world differently due to the six eyes, and he experiences life with a responsibility no other sorcerer can understand. His blindfold or dark glasses aren't just for controlling the sensory overload from his eyes, they're symbolic of how he emotionally shields himself from others. His strength becomes a double-edged sword. On one hand, it makes him a protector. On the other, it makes him distant. While others might be comforted by having someone like Gojo around, Gojo himself is often lonely at the top. Unlike many others in his world, Gojo refuses to blindly follow tradition. He recognizes the corruption in the Jujutsu headquarters, where elders manipulate young sorcerers, ignore dangerous trends, and prioritize power and lineage over justice. Gojo openly defies the higher-ups and frequently challenges their decisions, even risking his status to protect students like Yuji Itadori from execution. Gojo believes that to fix the Jujutsu system, the next generation must be different. He wants to raise sorcerers who are strong and morally grounded, not loyal pawns of the system. That's why he puts so much effort into teaching. He knows that real change doesn't come from killing curses, it comes from changing minds. Gojo's relationship with his students is one of the most important aspects of his character. With Yuji, Megumi, Nobara, and others, he shifts from a seemingly immature teacher to a fierce guardian. These bonds reveal Gojo's emotional depth and capacity for love. Yuji Itadori. Gojo sees great potential in Yuji not just as a host for Sukuna, but as a person. He risks his career and even fights the higher-ups to keep Yuji alive. Gojo believes Yuji represents a new kind of sorcerer. Compassionate, brave, and unpredictable. Megumi Fushiguro. Gojo has a personal interest in Megumi, partly because he promised Toji Fushiguro, Megumi's father, that he'd look after him. He sees Megumi as someone with hidden potential, possibly greater than even himself, and pushes him to stop holding back. Nobara Kugisaki and Yuta Okotsu. Gojo supports and encourages these students as well, offering guidance while trusting them to make their own decisions. He wants them to grow strong not just in cursed energy, but as people. His teaching is unorthodox, sometimes reckless, but full of heart. His ultimate goal is not to train weapons, but to raise individuals who can lead a new era. Gojo's moral compass is complex. Though he is capable of killing with ease, he values life and does not act violently unless absolutely necessary. His decision to kill Geto at the end of Jujutsu Kaisen 0 was a clear example of this. Despite their deep bond, Gojo ended Geto's life, himself to prevent others from doing it, and to ensure that Geto, as a person, would be remembered with dignity. This act haunted Gojo for years. Even when Geto's body was possessed by Kenjaku, Gojo couldn't bring himself to destroy it right away. His emotional attachment was too strong, even if he knew the person inside was no longer his friend. This emotional conflict makes Gojo feel real and vulnerable. He is not immune to pain or loss, no matter how powerful he is. The Six Eyes give Gojo the ability to perceive cursed energy with incredible clarity, but symbolically they do much more. They represent truth, insight, and awareness. Gojo sees the true nature of things, not just on the battlefield, but in society. By wearing a blindfold, Gojo limits his power and sensory input. But it also signifies emotional restraint. He chooses not to see the full weight of the world all the time, perhaps as a way to protect his own sanity. In rare moments when he removes the blindfold, it signals that he is serious, vulnerable, or ready to unleash his full power. His eyes are not just physical tools, they are metaphors for his burden, vision, and depth. One of the most anticipated moments in the series is the final battle between Gojo Satoru and Ryomen Sukuna, the King of Curses. This battle isn't just a fight between two of strongest. It's a clash of ideologies, of eras, and of destiny. Sukuna is a monster of ancient times, reborn in the modern world, wreaking havoc without remorse. Gojo, on the other hand, is a protector of the new generation, willing to stand alone to hold the darkness back.